This is Killer Innovations, a show about ideas, creativity, and how you can innovate. Welcome to the Innovator's Garage, where you learn to create your next game-changing killer innovation.
Companies in the boomtown are working on taking their ideas and looking to change the industries that they're going after. I'm Phil McKinney, and you're listening to Killer Innovations. First off, in this segment, we're going to go with a little bit of a different company from a completely different segment. Today's guest is Achilles Lagrave, who's the co-founder of Visible. So Achilles, welcome to the show, and give me a 60-second commercial. Now you got to make it exciting. You know, you can't just softball this. You got a chance with the large listener base here. You get 60 seconds. Tell your story.
So Visible is a video marketing platform that makes it possible for small and medium-sized businesses to really target and reach their ideal customers online via video advertising. So this all started through our shared dissatisfaction of the video ads we're seeing online whenever we go to CNN or the New York Times, and we end up seeing the same car commercial or the same large cell phone network trying to sell us on this stuff. And a few months ago, Alex Bogusky, our co-founder, and I were sitting down for coffee, and he turned to me and said, "Why can't this coffee shop target me with a killer video ad that's pertinent to what I like, which is coffee in Boulder?" And so started a long process of de-risking this, and it's just been thrilling.
So there's been a lot of attempts to try to, address this video advertising market. Google was in it for a while, and then it didn't really get a lot of traction, or maybe they did. I don't know what their stats were. But it seems to be, it always comes across as being much harder. If you're a small startup guy and you got an ad, like the guy doing the coffee shop, he knows how to roast beans. What does he know about, putting together an ad and getting it out there?
Yeah, so what you're talking about is the video production side of things. The really amazing thing is that the last couple of years have seen a flurry of innovation in video production. And it seems like every morning I wake up and there's a new killer app allowing exactly these guys to make great video content. And one of the first things that we were trying to prove out in this is there going to be enough video content for these guys to put out? And what we found out was really astounding. Small businesses are making video each and every day. The amount of video content coming out from these guys is staggering, but it does nothing. It goes on to sit on their Facebook page or on their website, waiting for somebody to find them. And that's really a shame for them.
Someone does an ad, they use your platform. Where do you place the ads? Who's your partners as far as the actual ad placements?
Yeah, great question. So we actually pipe directly into 60 different ad networks, and these are the biggest names, obviously, like Google and Yahoo and Facebook. So your videos will be going there, but there's a whole host of other ad networks that are really important in the background that most people don't think about. These are networks like Brightroll and Spot Exchange, etc. The guys that are actually putting the ads on CNN and the New York Times. So we actually bridge the network-specific conversation and are able to find audiences across all the networks and then target them on those publisher sites. So you'll be putting your ad on Facebook as well as on Google as well as CNN and the New York Times and on and on and on. It's what's called programmatic advertising.
And how do you do the targeting? Because, if I'm the guy with the coffee shop and I want to target somebody that's my customer in Boulder, obviously I can say, run this ad, but only run it for people in the Boulder geography.
Right. So there's a few ways that we do that, but one of the main ways is we then partner with very large companies called DMPs, which means nothing to the average listener, but think of the NSA not run by the government, so it doesn't suck. So these are companies like Datalogix, now owned by Oracle and IOTA, Forbes, even credit networks. So we even access information from the credit networks to be able to target income ranges, etc. So we have a huge bucket of data that we can draw from to really, really be able to target that down to a specific neighborhood and a specific type of person.
So how does the business model work? How does the money flow between the person who creates the video, it's their ad, you're providing this capability as basically the network of networks to get their ad placements plus the targeting piece. How does that all work?
Right. So we've striven to make this really, really simple. So an advertiser comes to our website, which is, by the way, free to use. There's some subscription tiers, but you can go on there for free. And you build out who you want to reach. You give us your video and you give us your budget. And then we turn around and we spend that budget out anytime we find a viewer that fits that description across any one of these millions upon millions of websites, and we have a chance to show it there. So the money goes first through us and then all the way down to that specific network.
So someone says, I'm gonna spend $1,000 on ads. They budget $1,000. You get your piece, but then you manage basically similar like an AdWord. I'm gonna bid per placement in the case of an AdWord.
Exactly like AdWord.
Okay.
So that's how that goes, and generally speaking, we're able to place this extremely efficiently. So the cost of placing that video is actually a fraction of a penny in many cases. So the reach that small businesses have on this platform, particularly when targeting local customers, is absolutely incredible.
So is the site live today?
It's absolutely live today. We've been in beta now for a little under a month, and we've seen incredible traction, hundreds of new users, hundreds of campaigns. It's been really exciting to watch the breadth of businesses leveraging this, everything from exciting startups out in Silicon Valley to lawyers and car dealerships on the other end of the equation.
And so when you started down this path with this aha moment sitting in the coffee shop saying, why can't this coffee shop target you, to the point where you're at today, if you had the knowledge you had today when you started the whole effort, what is it you learned? What would you have done differently from the beginning?
We really approach this from a standpoint of discovery, both in terms of the idea and of each other as a team as we went along. So I can't say that anything on the business perspective really, really surprised us, because we weren't really expecting anything specific as we went along. We were just trying to overcome that next barrier. But something was said earlier in the show about fearlessness, and just the amount of fearlessness and focus that a founder has to have in order to be able to execute on their idea is really even beyond what you would expect on a bad day.
It's one of those things that it's hard to describe to you, but you know it when you're in the middle of a firefight.
That's exactly
it's hard
right.
to prepare for it coming into the fight. So how do you get the word out? How are you getting the word out for your service to your target customer base?
Well, we're doing that a couple of ways. So we're officially shipping product here over the next week, which is very exciting for us. So as a part of that, you will see a lot of press about us. On the other side, we have found that our first customer is our best referral. Generally speaking, anyone who uses the platform once ends up referring 2 to 3 people who end up doing the same thing. So there's a little bit of a network effect, but we're also using our own platform and all the different marketing and growth hacking tricks that you would expect a startup in this day and age to be leveraging.
That's great. So if people want to follow you and what Visible's doing, what's the best way to find you?
Yes, you can go to www.getvisible.com. Now, because we're a tech startup, we have to misspell things, so that's visible without an E.
That's great. Hey, Achilles, really appreciate you taking this time. Hey, listeners, if you're looking to learn more about ideas, creativity, and innovation, text the word innovate to 33444. If you're outside the U.S., you can send an email to innovate@killerinnovations.com, and we'll send you all the notes from this show, plus all the future shows. This has been a great opportunity to come to Boomtown, get an introduction to some of the startup community here in Boulder, Colorado. When we come back, I've got a killer question that's really going to hack your brain and think differently about how your customers are going to think in the future. I'm Phil McKinney, and this is Killer Innovations on the BizTalk Radio Network.
BizTalk Radio,